Over the past week, there have been 2 sets of strikes in Tripoli. The Islamist-allied militants there were struck by aircraft. We didn't know at the time who it was, where the planes had originated from. Thankfully, we do at least have some surveillance apparatus in the United States and abroad, and so we have been able to identify that they were Egyptian and UAE planes based out of Egypt that had launched those strikes within Tripoli against the militants there. The first strikes occurred before dawn a week ago, hitting positions in Tripoli controlled by Islamist-friendly militias, blowing up a small weapons depot and killing 6 people.
I'm not an Islamist, but I'm Islamist friendly.
Exactly. I'm curious.
I'm Islamist curious.
Yeah. A second set of airstrikes took place south of the city early on Saturday, just this weekend, hitting rocket launchers, military vehicles, and a warehouse, all controlled by Islamist-allied militia.
I like it. We went from Islamist friendly to Islamist-allied. We're just writing. Where's that from?
This is from the New York Times.
Yeah, they're just coming up with different. Just doing a synonym search.
Islamist sympathists.
Yeah.
What I think is amazing about the article is they say how surprised America is to find out that it was Egypt and UAE. Mm-hmm. This goes back to, what about all those satellites and all that supposed spying we're doing all over the world that we can't figure out when we have naval ships in the Mediterranean supposedly tracking every flight of everything everywhere.
Like, where did that flight take? Oh, look, it took off from the UAE.
We don't know where these planes have come from.
The guy said he was getting milk and he'd be back in 15 minutes. It took a little bit longer, but it seemed legit at the time.
But why don't we know these things? That's what keeps blowing me away is.
And you think you're buying that we don't know it, and not that they're just...
I know enough about how the U.S. intelligence services operate to always go with the side of incompetence versus deviousness.
Right, incompetence always trumps deviousness, 95%
Absolutely.
of the time.
I mean, think back to the 90s. Oh, Pakistan and India are years away from a nuclear bomb. They say the day before each country sets off a nuclear bomb.
Right. Yeah, we don't, and movies and TV shows have screwed all this up for us, because we see 2 F-14s from the United Arab Emirates have just taken off, and they've dropped their payload over Tripoli. Like, we don't know anything.
They should have enhanced Quadrant C.
Or that it turns out that somebody did see that, but instead they emailed it to their girlfriend and forgot instead of emailing it to CENTCOM.
No, they could have intercepted the email, but they were reading sects from soldiers
it's just
in the region.
Nothing is as sophisticated as we think it is.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is that bodes well for the Edward Snowden revelations. Yeah. They're not watching us that closely because they don't know how.
Or again, speaking of deviousness, perhaps they did know that they were Egyptian planes or UAE planes, and they just don't want to give away that they have that. Now, according to the information we have, the planes, the pilots, the refueling ability all came from the UAE, but they were launching from airports in Cairo.
Think about how many U.S. Air Force installations they flew over.
Seriously. Yeah. Yeah, by all accounts, the UAE has a very capable Air Force, much more capable than the Air Force of Libya.
And it looks like they flew over the airspace of one of our allies, Israel, who we supposedly know everything going on there too, right?
Israel knows, they just didn't want to get involved. By the way, we have, in response to finding out who it was and why it is that they were striking the militants in Libya, an American official was quoted as saying, "We don't see this as constructive at all." Yeah, they're hoping for some sort of peaceful...
It's an unknown senior American official.
Exactly, yeah. It couldn't be Hillary Clinton because she's apparently not commenting on anything in recent weeks. She's just going to ride it through to the primary season. But anyway, so that's going on. We've shown you now ISIS in Syria, in Iraq, the Ukraine, Libya as well. The world is truly at war. We didn't see this coming last year.
Right, and Ferguson.
And Ferguson as well. Right.